For now, we got episode 170 of Weighing In with Travis Hartman. I am B Money, the producer. That over there is the talent, Weekend Trav, aka Travis Hartman, or the other way around. Weekend Trav. December 21st, coming to us from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Tyson Fury taking on Oleksandr Usyk for the second time. This second time has been put off a little bit, but this is a pretty exciting one. I'm looking forward to this one. This is for the IBO, WBO, and WBC heavyweight titles, no longer undisputed, and it's only 40
Yeah.
bucks. I think that's the most exciting part of this whole thing. December 21st, and go.
It's $40. I thought it was going to be free because I thought the guy was saying
On
the
DAZN.
Turkish Alashik has said, I want to make everything free. I don't care. It's worth it. You're right. It's
Yeah.
worth it. I think this is a pay-per-view that is more than worth it. Um, it's very interesting, B Money, because I think this is another very competitive fight where I don't think we know the winner ahead of
Yeah.
time, meaning I think that either guy can win, right? I obviously got the first one wrong. I picked Tyson Fury. I think a lot of people did. And Usyk won. B Money got this one. Usyk has burned me twice now. He beat Joshua, and I thought that Joshua was going to get him. He
Yep.
beat Usyk, or he beat Fury, and I thought he was going to get him. And like, so it is what it is. I think it's very interesting. I think that we have emerged in Usyk, a very great heavyweight who we thought he was just a great cruiserweight. Moving up, we're like, no way he could be a great heavyweight with how big the division is. But look what he's done. And he's done it on a big stage. And now he's in Saudi Arabia again with Turkish Alashik facing off in the main event versus Tyson Fury. And you're right, it's not for all of the belts, which kind of sucks because Usyk relinquished the IBF and he let Anthony Joshua and Dubois fight for that. And Dubois ended up beating Joshua.
We'll
So
talk about him in a little bit because coming February 22nd, there's a massive card. We'll get to that in a moment. I know it's too early to tell on this one. We got a few weeks before December 21st. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas to everybody hearing my voice. So it's tough to say. I think last time when they fought back, I think what was in March or April, the storyline was just kind of where's Fury's mindset,
mhm.
and it seemed like he was ready, crystal clear. And even during the fight, he was kind of dominating the first half, I would say, and then just made a couple tactical errors that Usyk took advantage of, but couldn't finish the job. So
Mhm.
Usyk taking that one by split decision, which was controversial in itself. Um, I don't know. This second go round is pretty interesting. It's an intriguing matchup, I should say, an intriguing matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. The fight happened back in May. It was May 18th, I believe. So yeah, it hasn't. I mean, luckily, it hasn't been like too awfully long before the rematch. I mean, it was. We would like rematches to be a little
Uh,
sooner, but May wasn't terrible. That was the fifth, so or the fifth month, so five, six. Yeah, it's not too awfully bad. But I'm glad we're getting a rematch, and it's good because you've seen that Dubois lost to Anthony Joshua and didn't exercise his rematch, which was weird to me. But back to Usyk, back to Fury. It's an awesome fight, B Money, and I don't have my prediction in mind yet. I don't. I really don't. Because it's that close of a fight. It's that intriguing of a fight. But isn't that what boxing is supposed to be about? Like,
yeah.
not fighting it on paper. We have to literally watch this fight to see the winner, and that's what I love about boxing. Is that I love going into a fight not knowing who the winner's gonna be, if that makes sense.
But also
Going
just
into
the
the fight rooting as a
but
fan. I love
but
it.
also just the heavyweights leading the way. Having two of the top guys in the division actually compete, actually go to battle with one another. We talk a lot
Yeah.
about the other divisions, the smaller guys, and it's just a lot of chirping back and forth and
Mhm.
actually nothing coming to fruition with some of these folks. And we want to see the action. It's long gone should be the days of just a lot of talk and no action. We should see belts on the line. We should see the
Yep.
top guys wanting to fight each other. Maybe they do want to fight each other and promoters stand in the way of it. But I bet you half the time it's the fighters ducking and not accepting that. But it's good to see this. Okay, it's a good way. I want to say it's closing the year out because we still have a little bit left in the remainder of the year. By the way, Inoue does
Mhm.
fight on Christmas Eve in Japan. Our Christmas Eve, I guess. I don't know the time zones. But it's pretty much closing out the boxing season, I would say, of the 2024. How would you sum up 2024 so far? What do you think? When we include this one, assuming this is a blockbuster, how would you say the boxing year so far is pretty much rounded out?
Well, listen, I called 2023 our Jordan year
Hmm.
for boxing, and I thought it delivered. I thought
It's
it was
pretty
one of the
good.
it was a great year for sure. So now 2024, I'm gonna do you just one less than Jordan, and I'm gonna go with Kobe Bryant, who was
Mm,
number 24.
yeah,
So we're
yeah.
gonna say this was our Kobe Bryant year
Okay.
because I thought it was still a really solid year, B Money. I
Yeah.
thought we had some solid matchups. I thought we had some solid winners. I thought we had some upsets. I thought we had some knockouts of the years. I think that I can't wait to do our end of the year
It's
show.
going to be tough. I was just thinking that.
I
It's going to be
mean,
tough.
dude, look at all we've had some really great matchups, and who knows what's going to happen. I mean, we still got Oleksandr Usyk fighting now against Tyson Fury in a rematch. We got some guys on that undercard that are fighting that could steal the show too. Madrimov is fighting, which
Yep.
he's getting ready to fight on another card. Madrimov, you know him, he just fought and battled Terrence Crawford to like a very, very competitive decision, which nobody expected. So this guy could be coming out of nowhere too and emerging as a superstar. Who knows what can happen? But that's what's kind of cool about boxing, right? Where we're at right now. And I think a lot of credit can go to Turkish Al Sheikh. He is paying these fighters, and these fighters are responding by saying, I don't want to duck anybody. If you pay me, I will fight. And on all his cards, it looks like he's paying the guys well, and they're fighting each other.
Yeah.
Better be Bivol, Usyk, Fury, Anthony Joshua, Dubois. Like these guys are Anthony Joshua and Usyk. These guys are fighting each other, and I think Turkish Al Sheikh deserves some credit. I'm not going to get
Oh
on
yeah.
that train to where I'm just like, oh, this guy is the next greatest thing ever. I'm not there, but the guy does deserve credit. And when credit is due, I'm going to give it to him. He's
Yeah.
got a lot of credit for a lot of good fights he's put forward. I hope somehow he can make the Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez fight if it's possible. I would love that be money in May of next year. If we get Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, thanks to Turkish Al Sheikh, I'm happy, dude.
Yeah, yeah, that would be it would be a fan friendly fight, I think. I don't know if it's going to be friendly to Crawford necessarily, but you never know. You never know.
It's just interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. So if there's anything, and you're right, credit where credit's due, but if anything, he's made a lot of stuff really interesting. I still wonder, I still scratch my head when it comes to this guy. Like, what's the end game? You're pouring all this cash out for, the Saudis entertainment, wing of what they're doing. You bought Ring Magazine, I don't know if that's
Mm-hmm.
coming back to print or what's going on there. Like,
It
there's just
claims it will.
but I'm trying to figure out what's the end game here with all of this just bleeding of money because there's no way that he's getting the return off of his investment so far. I mean,
No,
the amount of money he's paying fighters, which great, I'm happy for it, but there's no way they're making that money back. Not yet.
no, and so you're right. I
Ah,
think we need to look into this because what we saw with PBC, the Premier Boxing Champion Series that they had going on there, they were doing a similar thing the first 2, 3, 4 years. They were overpaying fighters as like an investment to really get boxing back in the forefront. And guess what ended up happening? They ended up going broke. And Waddell Allen Reed is like now suing I think the PBC people to get some of that money back because they blew through like $900 million. So I hope that Turkish Al Sheikh is not taking that same route where yes, he's overpaying. And I think this is business 101, right? You kind of overpay at first to buy everybody's interest essentially. And he does have a good product. I think boxing is a great product. I think that we've had great fights. So maybe that's his end game that he thinks that, hey, if I buy all these fights, then I can actually start paying the fighters a little bit less, which will happen. You're not going to get outrageous paydays. You're going to get amazing paydays, but maybe we get more amazing paydays more consistently than these outrageous paydays every so often.
I mean,
Right?
you got to hope, or he's got to hope that it's more of looking into the future marketing dollars of it because charging
Mm-hmm.
$40 for a pay-per-view or at the like him talking how he wants to be at like $20 going
Mm-hmm.
forward, that ain't gonna pay for it. It's got to be the, bringing back the bigger beer sponsors, bringing back the, all that stuff into the fold, which is now like the NFL has the most beautiful model for the whole thing, and they're just making money hand over fist. So
Yeah.
maybe that's ultimately what the I don't know. Well, that's a different conversation for a different date. But
It's going
ultimately,
to be tough for him over there because it's a Muslim country where alcohol is not
that's
served at
right.
a lot of
That's
these
right.
places. So, but maybe his in-game B money is now that he's done Riyadh season with Crawford in the States. So maybe that's his in-game is, hey, I keep doing it over in Saudi Arabia, but now if I bring it over to the States, I can
Maybe,
open up the beer
maybe
sales.
they
I
could
can get this
advertise.
massive
They could
money.
advertise like old Toyota pickup trucks, those white pickup trucks that they all drive in the desert. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like that could be the marketing arm for the commercials and stuff out there. Toyota, like old Land Cruisers and stuff. You ever see those? That's what they drive out there.
Yeah.
But over here, yeah, it's just all
So they're
the
not driving G wagons in the desert. Damn it.
only in oh yeah, not maybe in
Maybe
Riyadh they
maybe in
are.
Dubai or something.
Maybe Dubai and Riyadh, but
Yeah.
out in the desert, no, no, there's it's like camel rentals and stuff. Anyways, so December 21st, Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk, two for those three heavyweight belts, IBO, WBO, WBC, coming to us from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So keep in mind that's an earlier start time when it actually does happen. I think ring walk, if I read it correctly, like 6 p.m., something like that on
Yeah.
Eastern Standard Time here in Florida and the East Coast. $40 on the zone, not too shabby. We can trav
Well worth it.
shift gears because that's a few weeks from now. But let's talk about we got a big event here in Orlando next week. Maybe you talk
Yes, we
about
do.
that for us a little bit.
Yeah, we have the WBA convention that is happening at the Carib Royale, which I believe it's happened the last 3 years,
Mhm.
if I'm correct, which is pretty cool, man. The WBA is the World Boxing Association. They've had past champions like Bernard Hopkins, Miguel Cotto, things like that. Some of those guys will be there in attendance. They always are there in
Jake
attendance.
Paul was there last year, the year before.
I mean, I was just trying to name a real box. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
mean, he's listen. I mean, whether you love him, hate him, despise him, whatever it is, guys, he's in the boxing world.
Darren Cruz was
Is
here.
he's doing things, and he's got fighters that fight for his company that are attempting to fight for WBA belts and things like that in ratings and rankings and all of that. So in all of his whatever, he'll be there too. I'm sure it's the WBA convention. He was there last year, and I think it's really cool, money because it's in our backyard. It's with our boys over at Box Lab who are continuing to grow boxing, not just in Central Florida but all over the country because they've helped co-promote and promote the fights in Texas when Jake Paul fought Mike Tyson. But they promoted that. They're promoting cards all over now, B Money. Like so,
Mhm.
it's cool. They're having their own fighters fight all over the world, and especially a guy like Giovanni Estella,
Yep,
who just fought over in Japan, I believe it was a part of that tournament that he was in, the $1 million tournament. So
yep.
Box Lab is doing amazing, and they deserve all the credit in the world, and they're culminating. I don't know what they're doing.
Culminating,
They're
culminating.
they're culminating or concluding the WBA convention with a fantastic night of boxing, December 13th at the Crib Royale. And the main event is Antonio Vargas. I believe he's fighting for a version of the WBA title. I think it's an international title. Our boy Giovanni Estella is going to have his first fight back after that big, huge fight over in Japan. So I want to see Giovanni get back on that winning track. I want to see Giovanni get back at the top. I want to see Giovanni get back in the rankings of the WBA, the WBO, the WBC, the IBF, whatever he feels is right for them. But I want to see him get back up there because I know that he can. He's got that talent. And I know with Box Lab behind him, as well as Antonio Vargas has Box Lab behind him, I do believe that Box Lab, speaking with their people over there, they're eyeing a possible world title fight for Antonio Vargas next year. B Money. If everything goes okay on Friday, they're eyeing for a world title for a guy from right here in Kissimmee, Florida, Antonio Vargas.
So let me go through some of this. This is what I'm pulling off the internet right now. You might be able to see it off my glasses. So the WBA, the 103rd convention. Here's the agenda is what I'm catching here on WBAboxing.com. Let's see, arrivals for Thursday. So it's actually the actual event Friday is not the
Mm-hmm.
culmination. It is kind of the kickoff. So
Oh.
Thursday's arrival for the convention, and there's registration, there's opening ceremonies and stuff like that on Friday with the actual event, the KO Drugs boxing card. I think I made a joke about that last year, the
Yeah.
name. So Knockout Drugs boxing card. Man, those are the good drugs, right? Those are that's the
That's a
joke I made.
knockout
Those are
drugs,
the
right?
knockout drugs. So the KO Drugs boxing card on Friday the 13th. Also my wife's birthday. Happy birthday. And then Saturday starts a lot of like the committee stuff, and there's got a dinner by the pool, and you got some more of these little panels and stuff going all the way through another gala gala dinner on Sunday, closing ceremonies on Monday. So yeah, so really, it's a long extended weekend. This convention,
I guess you were right, B Money. You were right. It does kick it off. It doesn't end with it's the 12th
yeah,
and
so
17th.
we
Yeah.
start off with a bang with the Knockout Drugs event on Friday, and then it goes through, the full weekend of, listen, it's going to be a star-studded event. There's going to be names coming out. It's going to be a great time if you have access to get to this thing and you're a boxing fan over the weekend. You should be hanging out at the Caribe Royale in Orlando this not this weekend, but the following weekend, starting on December
December
13th.
12th. December
12th is the
12th.
arrival, but the
Okay.
first event really being Friday the 13th.
B Money. I'm
Yeah.
just realizing this and I can't
Mhm.
believe it blanked mine. The Turkish Al Sheikh invested in the WBA. It's they're calling it Riyadh season and the
Yeah.
WBA convention. Does that mean Turkish Al Sheikh's
He
gonna be
might.
here?
You know what he needs to, if he wants to invest in something, he can invest in this program of weighing in with Travis Hartman. I would love to be part of Riyadh season. I'll no longer make Toyota Land Cruiser jokes. I'll be very PC when it comes to all my comments. I think we could be a part of that, right?
Listen, Turkish Al Sheikh, dude.
I look like
We
I'm from over there. Come on.
we have our hand on the pulse of Orlando boxing
Yeah.
and Box Lab Promotions.
Yeah.
What's up, bro? Like, come on.
Come on, Riyadh
Come
season.
on, Riyadh. Riyadh season. Let's go.
Look at
That's
this.
pretty cool, B Money.
Look at
Look at
this.
this. Look at the B Money's face. Look at this. He's got a face of an angel. Look
I
at this
thought it
guy.
was gonna look more like a
Oh, look at this
thing,
guy. I
but it
need to,
doesn't look like a
you know what?
thing.
Keep that up. I'm gonna do, I'm gonna leave it up. I gotta get some video of this. Ready? So Spotify listeners, just chill out for a second because
Yeah.
we can travel. I'm just recording B Money.
Remember back in the day, we used to do like push-ups and like I would punch you in the stomach and stuff like
Ric
that.
Flair slaps that to this day I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting,
We
and
would
it still
shoot a little
hurts me.
basketball into that little hoop.
Remember, I made it like 3 weeks in a row, dude. I had like a streak that it was real. And but you know what people don't realize, B Money? Here's what people need to realize this. I'm not comparing us to Joe Rogan. I would love to, but I'm not. But we do all of this. This is unedited.
Yeah.
We do one take, dude. And I don't think for 4 years, no matter what interviews we do, it's a one take thing. And all these people
Hmm.
are doing
Yeah.
these interviews. I'm like, dude, hey, we mess up, you just roll with it, bro. Like we're having a conversation.
Oh, it
So
is.
I hope people realize that this is all natural, man. Well, you know, we're you want to say we're going green. No.
No, because of my
Well,
light.
no, but we're all that's nice. I'm just saying we're all natural. So like we're not
We are.
there's no
Ah.
pesticides, there's no chemicals, there's nothing in
Hmm.
this podcast. This is
It
all
depends.
natural.
We do. Well,
Nope,
yeah.
there's definitely no steroids there.
No. Well, not maybe not for you. But no, I don't take anything like that. I don't think. I might.
What do you mean you don't think? You wouldn't know by now.
Listen, I'm not a professional athlete, so whatever. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, well, listen, I'm pretty sure steroids is still illegal for regular people too, unless I guess they're prescribed. But listen, you're not,
Different.
you're,
Shout out
listen,
my doc.
whatever. You're not, whatever. If you're doing steroids, you're doing them all wrong, dude, because you need to be looking like Fabian over there or something or Hulk Hogan. You're messing it all up, man.
I'm just injecting them below my waist. You don't
Oh,
want to see down there.
oh my gosh.
Uh,
So sorry, Amber.
she doesn't listen to this far. Anyways, so that's what we got going on next week here in Orlando, starting on Thursday the 12th. Pretty cool. WBA convention, 103rd annual, I guess.
I mean, that's super cool. I don't think people realize this. Like the average person, like, dude, the WBA convention is in Orlando, Florida. Like, dude, most of these conventions happen like in some tropical all over the place, like Cancun, Mexico, or somewhere. They do it right here at Crib Royale. I think it's cool.
Not to be mistaken with the WNBA convention, okay? That is not in Orlando. Wherever it is, I know the Weighing In with Travis Hartman show is flying me out to it so I could cover it.
Of course,
But
we
I'm just
are.
waiting. I'm waiting for the itinerary and I'm
Yep.
waiting for the details and the agenda. That way I
We
could
need,
book my flight.
we got to have boots on the ground there, dude. We got
Oh
to have
yeah.
boots on the ground there. So we
Oh
got
yeah.
to send you out there, bro.
Yeah. 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 That's right. That's right.
And with Turkish Al Sheikh's help, we can fund that first
Telling
class.
you. I'm telling you.
First class.
I don't even need first class to send me up there. Spirit Airlines.
Listen, Spirit Airlines filed bankruptcy, but
They're still flying
they're still
planes.
operating. Yeah, they're
They're
still
still
operating
flying planes.
for
I mean,
now.
they you might have to wind them up a little bit. And as a kid, those toys where you have to like zip the cord through, and then like the
Yeah.
car would go. It's like that's how their planes are. You got to zip the cord through, and it could take off. And you just hope there's enough momentum for it to come back down in the location it's landing.
I mean, let's really hope that's not the case because I am not against flying Spirit. I believe we've flown Spirit a couple times to like the Green Bay Packers
Yeah, actually,
games.
that was a pretty good flight.
Hey, if I fly Spirits nonstop to Missouri all the time because there's only two airlines that do that, and then Southwest or Spirit. So I fly them nonstop, and I haven't had a bad experience yet, except one time they lost my clubs. But besides that, I've
I
had good
remember that.
experience.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
found
yeah.
them, but they delivered them to
Well,
where I was
you gotta spring for the larger seat up front. You can't sit in the,
every
you know,
time.
yeah.
Every time.
You can't sit in the seats in the back of the Spirit plane that's like duct tape on it. You got to sit in one of the two front seats that's a little more leg room.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Turkish Al Sheikh. You've heard of the Joe Rogan Experience.
Mm.
What about weighing in with Travis Hartman? Riyadh season.
I like that. I like that. Maybe we just throw that in the name and just see if they bite. They might send us a cease and desist letter or something like that.
I mean, but we're on the radar by
That'll be
then.
big time
So
then. We'll be big
what?
time then.
What are they gonna get out of us, B Money? What are they gonna get out of us if they sue us? What are they
Yes.
gonna get? Let's go.
What do you
Come
get?
on.
That's yeah. Yeah, there's nothing here. Go ahead. You got nothing to get out of me. There's nothing left. What else we got here? Episode
That was a
170. What
very
else we got?
nervous laugh. That was a very nervous laugh. I
I'm,
don't know how I feel about
I'm
this.
at my wit's end. I'm at the the razor's edge of life.
Tell me how you really feel, B Money.
I'm good. We say it with a smile on my face that it's okay. So,
At least you can smile when you say that.
oh my gosh, that's all I can do. This is 170. This is where the wheels are coming off now. The
This is
wheels are
what I'm.
coming off.
This is what I miss, dude. Like I said, I've been watching Joe Rogan shows, and like half of the show, I'm like, what are you guys talking about? But yet, I stay a listen. I stay in and listen. So I hope one day we get those guys that are just going to stick around and be like, wow, there's a gem at the end of these podcasts. We need
Just
to listen the
just
whole way.
honestly, if I'm someone listening to my voice right now, if you're on Spotify, if you're on YouTube, if you're and you're hearing us or seeing us, first of all, subscribe if you haven't done that. Below, hit the little bell icon on YouTube so you're notified anytime we drop new content, which Weekend Trav has been dropping a lot of interviews and stuff recently, so that's all
Yeah,
cool.
man.
Um,
I got some biggies coming up, man.
where was I going with
Got
this? Oh
some
yeah,
big ones coming up.
here's what I was going with. Honestly, just fast forward like halfway in. That's the good stuff. I mean, you want the more sports newscast, like specific detail stuff. That's going to be like your first little chunk of the time here on the episode.
Yep.
About halfway in, maybe a third of the way in, that's where stuff kind of just starts falling apart, and that's where the good stuff comes. Um,
B
you
Money says
know,
this falls apart. I think it falls together at that point.
falls together. Yeah, it's kind of
It
like
comes together.
that's like how my pillow talk life is. You got to get about a third of the way in, and it starts to fall together, and it
That's
starts to, disappoints, but in a good way.
that's what she said.
I, I, just to
Mm,
just to
mm.
boost my ego. No, it's okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. No, it was
It's
really
okay.
nice.
It's okay.
It was really nice. That's right.
Have you ever, what is that movie called Liar Liar? And he cannot tell a lie.
Yeah, yeah.
And after he's done having sex with this lady, she's like, so how was it? He's like,
I've had
I've
better.
had better.
Yeah,
And throughout the rest, she kicks him out, obviously. Throughout the rest of it, he's like brushing his teeth. I've had better. Like, why did I say that?
yeah.
That's what I just thought of when he did that.
But at least listen. You get to the big dance. At the very least, you're dancing, right? You might not win them. You might not win it. Okay. You make the team. You make the NFL team. You make the Cowboys. You make the Packers. You're on the 53-man roster game day. You might not make the field, but you're at the game,
So
right?
that's a
You,
win in
you
itself.
laced them up. You laced them up. You might not make the field, but you laced them up, right?
Listen, we might not be Joe Rogan, but we do have a podcast.
But we
We
do.
are We are on Spotify, and
Yep,
so is Joe Rogan.
that's
So
right.
what now, Joe?
We share
What
airtime with.
now, Joe?
So what? We share airtime with Joe Rogan on Spotify. Yeah, so sue
Listen,
us.
no big deal, dude. I mean, no big deal that we've also had two of Joe
Yeah,
Rogan's guests on our podcast, Mike
exactly.
Perry and Terrence Crawford. And also, by the way, congratulations to Mike Perry for a successful dirty boxing
Oh yeah, yeah,
down
absolutely.
in November down in Miami, dude. Congratulations, Mike.
Yeah.
I hope that all freaking goes to the moon and back. I hope Turkish Ali Sheik offers you billions of dollars and takes over dirty boxing and absorbs it
I
and just
liked it. It just
blasts it.
aesthetically it was different. Like had that like kind of like darker movie feel atmosphere. You like that? I thought that was cool. That was a little different. That was different than the typical events.
It was pretty cool, and it was like it seemed like it was a little unsecure because I saw a couple guys jump in the ring that weren't supposed to be in
Perfect.
the
That's
ring.
that's that's it, man.
I think
Right?
that it was the unexpected. Like we like that, right? This world is driven on that crazy news, that crazy stuff, right? Like this guy jumps over the ropes and like stops the fight. Juggernaut jumped in the ring and was like jumped and grabbed this guy and was like the fight should be stopped, stop the fight. So I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, you never know what you're gonna get. You know what? Let's just think about that. Dirty boxing is Mike Perry because you don't know what's going to happen. You
Mm-hmm.
know that you're going to come there and you know that you're going to be entertained. Mike Perry, has he ever been in a UFC match? Has he ever been in a bare knuckle match? Has he ever been in any kind of a scenario where you weren't entertained? I mean, Mike Perry is, he's Gladiator. Are you not entertained? Platinum Mike Perry. Like,
Yeah.
come on. Everything
Yeah.
the guy does is it might not be like the most, I don't know how to explain it, but professional looking thing. But I promise you, you walk away from any of those events and you're talking about it for weeks
Oh yeah,
later.
yeah, a very entertaining guy. Before he struck it big, I don't know, I crack up because it was more an inside joke. Our friend Angel Cortez and Elliot Taylor and others in the morning years ago in the UFC gym there in Winter Springs. I can't remember how it started, but we were making fun of Angel's working boots for some reason, and he was getting so
Wait,
pissed off.
what are working boots? Are they just
They're like work like outdoor like
work
workers
boots?
boots, yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
he's making a big deal about them, and Elliot has to wear some on job site too. I don't have to because I'm an office guy, and so that was part of the dig on me was that I'm a keyboard
You're a
jockey
suit.
or something,
We call you a suit. You're the
whatever.
suit.
But anyway, so we were making fun of the boots. I don't know why. And Mike was there. He was our trainer that morning, and I still have this photo of him when Angel didn't see it, putting these boots on, like doing this just kind of this kind of sexy-ish but gayish pose with the boots on. And I still think about that picture. It does crack up. He was Mike. What you
Did
see with
anybody get a
Mike,
picture? Did anybody
I
get a
have it
picture?
somewhere. If I could dig it up, I'll put it up. But
These
um,
boots were made for walking, and
but what you
that's
see with
just
him is
what
what you
they'll
get.
do.
Dude is a funny guy. Dude is a funny guy.
Agreed.
Anyways, but yeah, great event. That was pretty cool down there. And just once again, just it just kind of had a different feel, different vibe, and I think that's what they're going for. You want competitive and exciting fights, but just kind of but with a different sort of lens, right? And that's
Mhm.
that's what I got from seeing all the footage and everything from the Dirty Boxing event. Very cool.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the aesthetics were kind of cool because it was kind of like in a dim, like it almost reminds
Fight
you of
Club.
like Fight. Yeah, like it was like the first rule about Fight Club is we don't talk about Fight Club. And I believe this was a private event.
Yep.
I think you'd only come by invite only, and John Jones was there. By the way, pretty freaking cool.
Yep. Yep.
Good job, Mike Perry. But listen, the guy's always he's always like trying to think outside the box a little bit. He doesn't go with the flow. And I kind of like guys like that. I like the guys that don't go with the status quo. And I think that's one thing you could probably say about Mike Perry. Mike Perry is not status quo. And I think that's a great thing, right? Like that's Mike Perry is not status quo. And because of that, I think that he can be very successful in his business adventures. And I do wish him the best in dirty boxing. And I know we watched and we've tuned in. So like all the videos over YouTube and Instagram. That's what I mean by tuning in. We tuned into that because I don't know if it was live or what. I don't really know, but I know that I watched all the videos and keep watching all the videos. And I think it was cool, man. Dirty boxing. I don't know if it's gonna be whatever it's gonna be, but I know that I'm a boxing fan, and we are the number one boxing beards bourbon podcast. Take it away, B Money.
Shot in Orlando, Florida, specifically Laureate Park, specifically in a boxing gym in Laureate Park. I'm mixing this up. I'm messing it up, right? Boxing gym, second floor of
It's
said boxing
amazing.
gym in the podcast room, the TH Boxing podcast room. Is that about right?
Mm-hmm.
But which neither of us are in there right now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
shot on a Sunday or Monday, today being Monday. Is there any more?
In the
In the
world.
world. In the world. We got to
Oh
clean
my
that up.
gosh, we are rusty, B
We're very
Money.
really rusty.
We are
We're really rusty.
freaking rusty for the number one Boxing Bears and Burn podcast in the world. We're
I'm
super
also
rusty.
I'm also a little sick, so I don't my brain is kind of like
Yeah, you know what?
melding with my skull.
That's been going around. I feel like the last 2 months, honestly, the last 2 months, we've had some kind of virus sweeping through the
It's probably the
southeast.
Wuhan thing again. I don't know. I think it is. But who cares anymore?
I mean, it's some sort of virus,
It's
and
not a
we're
big deal.
we're gonna fight it off, and we're gonna live.
RFK, he'll help me. Is that it? That's 170?
That's 170, dude. That's 170.
Wow. Trying to think what else, any other shout out or
We got any shenanigans going? Oh, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna give a shout out. What's going on this Friday in
yes.
Orlando, Florida?
Great friend of ours, Brian Price, is retiring. He has been, I think he told me 40 years at the helm there with his engineering firm, and I know he does so much work. I don't know how they're going to survive without him and all the deals and contracts that he's in the middle of worldwide for that. But good friend of ours, good friend of the program. He's been interviewed by you on this program when he was out in LA. So. Tell you what, congratulations, Brian Price. We look forward to celebrating with you this Friday at your retirement party. And we appreciate you, and we look forward to having more and more of your insight on this program now that you have a little more free time as well. Maybe another maybe it's too early for this congratulations. Let's save the other one. I'll talk to
Okay.
you off air about it. But
Yeah,
something,
nice.
but some stuff might be opening up in January, maybe, or February locally. That's, we want to pat somebody on the back about, but we'll get to that.
Oh yeah, and that
We'll get to
somebody
that because
we're
we
we're
want to
gonna
get that somebody on air.
exactly, and I've reached out to that somebody. So you know what? Let's just build that up. That's a secret. I like it. So we're gonna have a mystery guest on the podcast to talk
Local
about some
boxing stud,
mystery stuff.
local boxing stud.
Big
Everybody
time,
knows him around
big
town.
time, big time.
Friend of ours as well. More shenanigans than I care to admit from our old days in the gym. But,
But also, shout out to Brian Price and Price Boxing. So Brian Price is he does price boxing. B Money now it participates in price boxing almost every
so
morning. It looks like so. Price boxing, Brian Price, we love you, bro. Congratulations on your many years, and I look forward to how you fill that time away from your job
I'm
now.
actually scared. I'm actually a little nervous about it
I
because
am.
he's a little bit of a loose cannon anyways, but now there's not going to be enough grounding him going forward. So we'll see. But anyways, yeah.
Yes. I would not be shocked to see an exhibition in the near future
Oh
of
my gosh.
Mike Tyson and Brian
Uh,
Price, and
yeah.
they both are going to bite each other for sure.
Well, that being said, so that's it. Episode 170 in the books. Weighing in with Travis Hartman. Please subscribe below if you have not yet done so. Whether you're watching us on YouTube or Rumble or wherever, or listening to us on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, iTunes, we're all at Google Pocket. We're all on all of them. So
Freaking
check us
subscribe
out.
to us already.
Just subscribe.
Quit jacking around.
Give us a little like. Download the audio. We get all the stats. We see them, and we appreciate your time. I'm just gonna say it. That over there is the talent. Weekend Trav.
That there is B Money, aka producer, aka the man, the myth, the legend, the man that makes this podcast go round.
God bless.
Woo!